We are at the Newton Hotel in Northern Scotland at the 2012 and Beyond conference. And one of the very interesting people here are you, Hong Xiao.
Hong Chi Xiao.
Hong Chi Xiao. It makes it hurt just to say it.
Weird name.
No, it's beautiful. So, you come just now, you just come from Taiwan, where your book is on the top of the bestseller list. And it's about how to heal yourself.
Yep.
Free and easily.
Yep.
And your claim is that people can do that, everybody.
Yep.
Can you say something about it? What's the most important message that you have?
Actually, just now upstairs, I was rewriting the book because it's going to be republished in mainland China. When people are talking about healing, they always wait to be healed by someone. But that is not the real classical tradition from the Chinese medicine. The oldest classical book about medicine is actually not about medicine. It's about the relationship between human being and the nature, between the body and the soul. So when you talk about medicine, you're actually talking about the Tao. You know, Tao.
Yeah, Tao, the Tao.
So in a way, you have to adjust yourself to match the big nature as a humankind. So this is something to be managed by yourself, not waited to be healed by somebody else. So ideally, everyone should be one's own doctor. But that kind of tradition has long lost because for many, many reasons, especially nowadays. It's all industrialized. Even, the medicine, you can call it health industry.
Yeah, yeah.
So because I'm not a doctor by profession, I studied economics in China, and then MBA in the business school, in the US called Thunderbird. Then I went working in New York for a couple of years in Wall Street. Then I was transferred to Hong Kong and worked there, still in the finance area for over 10 years. But after that, I got more and more interested in Chinese culture. I thought I should do something I really enjoy doing. So first of all, I began to write a book. It's about investment banking. It's a novel, a fiction. And after that, that's a great success. It's quite a bestseller in China.
When did you write this book?
That's published in 2003.
Uh-huh.
Then I began to do the screenwriting or the scripts for the Beijing's Olympic Games opening ceremony.
Yeah.
Because it's all about Chinese culture and history.
Mm.
After that,
were you writing that for the authorities, or was it your version of it? How you meant it should
actually is supposed to be beaten by many, many teams.
Oh yeah.
And ultimately, because I teamed up with the famous director Ang Lee in the United States, we were in the same team. But then our team was not chosen as the final, so we thought, okay, maybe somebody else is better. But then it turned out to be ours. The whole version is our version. So it's ironic. Maybe the authorities have already decided who is the director, who directs this. But then they need to,
Well, that sounds a bit shady, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, I began to fully focus on Chinese medicine. Because during that...
without any history of relations in that field?
Oh, there are big relations. I grew up in a doctor's family, but too. My mother is a Western medicine doctor, but my uncle, who is my mother's brother, traditional Chinese doctor.
Yeah.
I can see the huge difference between the two. When my mother opened that kind of Western medical doctor, it's like I always laughed, it's like a carpenter's box. because you have all kinds of knives, chops, blah blah.
More butcher style.
Yeah, butcher style. Yeah, but for Chinese medical doctor, you need nothing. Just
You have the
hands.
needles.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
So when I wrote that novel, I already wrote quite some pieces about the Chinese medicine, Chinese Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism.
Yeah.
While during that screenwriting for the Olympic game opening ceremony, I got more focused on the Chinese history and the Taoism. And during that period of time, I received an email from one of my readers, and he said, "I want to have a talk with you because I'm really fascinated by your book. There is a lot of talking about the Taoism and the Chinese medicine." I said, "Yeah, bingo, let's see." When I opened the door, I found out this is a Buddhist monk. So it's really strange. So when he looked at me, he said, "When I read a book, I felt that in your previous life, you must have been a Taoist. Now when I have a look at your face, I'm fully convinced your previous life must be a Taoist."
Yes.
And then
I
he
feel
said-
that too, just from talking to you
It's
and
just
just for
funny.
listening to this story.
Then he said, "You should leave your beard." Because I never, had to look like this before.
No.
I said, "Why?" He said,
Tao.
"As a Taoist,
Yes.
you should have a Taoist look."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, I may have a try because I don't want to have a shaving every day anyway. I'm a lazy person." So from then on, I began to have my,
Yeah.
beard. As long
And then
as this.
you don't have a tail yet, which you should have.
So he said, "Okay, you should follow a route. Then you can find more encounters of your previous life. You will find your karma, or Chinese word 缘分. 缘 is a very Buddhist word. I translate it as hidden link, which is kind of link invisible to your eyes, but you can see it is there. So people think, this must be a joke. How could you believe this?" Then I was just curious. I said, "Okay, where should I go?"
You were not involved in spiritual groups or this Tao practicing?
No,
every
not
day.
at all.
So you were a businessman at heart still back then? Or,
Yeah.
Or interested in more,
Yeah.
what you say, outward social things?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but more culturally, of course. I
Yes,
was
yes,
curious about the
exactly.
Chinese culture and the Taoism and the Chinese medicine.
Yeah, but more from an outside.
Yeah,
World
never really got
perspective.
involved with healing.
No.
He said if you follow the route of your previous life, then you can find something really interesting.
And what did you find?
I asked, where did I stay in my previous life?
Yeah.
And he gave me a list. One of them is the Wudang Mountain. That's a very famous Taoist mountain. Then the West Hunan province, West Hubei province. Then another mountain in the south called the Nanyue, very famous Taoist and Buddhist mountain. Then all the way up to Beijing. There is a very famous Taoist temple called Baiyunguan, or White Cloud Temple.
I've heard about this. Temple.
Yeah, and he said that's the route.
Yes, and that's
If you
also
read
a
it
very
before-
old tradition.
Yeah. And my friends would normally laugh at me. Do you really believe in this kind of bullshit? And I not only believe in it, I just put on my bag, boom, I just exactly followed the route. And to my great surprise, I did find something really, really interesting. All kinds of healers. They don't use medicine. No, not even herbal stuff. One of the most fascinating things is to acupressure. They just use the fingers. That guy treated all the people who have been paralyzed. Got a strike, like half body paralyzed.
Yes.
And he treated them with nothing, just fingers, acupressure. And it's amazing. I saw him did all these things, and he invited me to join him. I said, "Why do you want me to learn from you?" He said, "I'm here in the mountainous area. Nobody knows who I am. And if you learn a little bit, you can do some demonstration in Beijing." So I did learn that for a month. Then one day, an old 70-year-old man who got a stroke came and paralyzed, and I worked on him with acupressure for like 3 or 4 days, and then he began to work. So it's really amazing experience to myself. So I was, very excited. I think, okay, when I got back to Beijing, I could heal people with this technique. But then, to my great disappointment, I found out it's impossible to do this in Beijing. Do you know why?
No.
Because all the patients are in the hospitals.
Yes.
And the hospital will never allow you to do this
Come
kind
in
of
the middle with their business. No.
Yeah. But then at that time, the monk appeared again. He said, okay, you got enough. You should learn something else. You should learn acupuncture. Then he found me an acupuncturist. And that acupuncturist teacher, he is not an acupuncturist by profession. He's a geologist. See, in China, we learn this medicine, they are not doctors.
So, but what you also are telling me now, that there is awakening of old knowledge, old wisdom.
Yeah.
That's coming and reminding people who have done this in previous life.
Yeah.
That's so this is quality that's coming forward now, which is very fascinating, which is exciting to hear. And you see this as the same thing in the West. The people healing, people with healing abilities, they come, suddenly they do all sorts of different work, and so you have this the same thing happening in China.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to hear you tell, because we don't know so much about China.
To cut the story short, from that master and another master, I learned all kinds of skills, all kinds of techniques.
Yes.
But then I summarized and studied very carefully.
Was it difficult for you to learn, or was it just easy to pick up?
For me, it's easy.
Yeah.
I tell you how I learned acupuncture.
Yes.
I think you have to always be very close to the real clinical practice if you do learn Chinese medicine.
Yes.
So when I learned acupuncture, I begin to use the needles on that very first day.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait until tomorrow.
No.
So I begin to put the needles into my own body first.
Yes.
And the next day I begin to heal other people. So in 1 month, we learned on the way. Actually, I, together with the Taoist and with my teacher, we walk on the way. To this mountain, this temple, that temple. But on the way, I learn it and then heal people.
But if I may ask you, the way I understand people learn acupuncture is by telling the story, by telling stories. So while it's much more naming different parts in Western medicine, you have to know the relationship between that energy and that. And that's told in a story like it's a family. And the uncle says this to the grandmother, and so that's the reaction. And so it's more storytelling. It's more Taoism in the learning. Is that correct, or am I?
Before 1949, all this kind of heritage of Chinese medicine
Yes.
is either through masters, disciples, or fathers and sons.
Yes.
But after 1949, when the so-called communist China came into power, no more this kind of system.
No.
They began to set up a kind of university of Chinese medicine.
Yes.
And I studied that.
Yes.
I did some research on that.
Yes.
They are totally a waste of time and money, because these are the schools that have been totally westernized.
Yeah.
In the name of Chinese medicine, maybe less than half Chinese medicine. It's all Western medicine. Plus, it's all standardized. But Chinese medicine is a very open system. Let's say we heal the same problem, same disease. You and I or another 5 people, and they may use different techniques, but they can all heal the same disease, which is good. Some people think this is bad because there's no criteria.
No,
I say the best criteria is the effect itself.
Yes.
If you can heal this person,
Yes.
that's okay. So to make the story short, I learned so many things, but then I summarized that we need to find out the 2 most important techniques that can be easily used by everybody, not just by the magicians, by the doctors or the very famous doctors. Should be used by everybody to heal themselves. But to do that, you have to meet 4 criteria. Number 1, it has to have great effect. If it has no effect, nobody is going to use it. That's number 1. Number 2, it has to be simple. How simple? You can learn it in 1 minute. Is that simple enough?
Yeah.
Number 3, it has to be safe, no side effect. Number 4, this is very important. Number 4, there are so many different techniques and ways and the methodologies. But they use one way or one method to heal only one disease. But number 4, my criteria is that if you use this technique, it heals hundreds of thousands of different diseases. That is really, really important.
That is a big claim.
Yeah, big claim. So when I did kind of TV show in mainland China, the director, because they would require some audience, 20 to 30 people audience to shoot the TV.
Yeah.
They asked, what kind of audience do I need? I said, just ask those who are heavily sick.
Yeah.
Very heavy, back pain, lower back pain, or knee pain, those who couldn't kneel down. They said, why? I said, I will let you see the instant result. They said, how dare you do that? I said, I dare. Okay, they said, fine. So they arranged the whole setting exactly as I require. Almost all the audience are over 60 and 70. They have all sorts of problems, especially the pain problem. Because the pain problem is easily to show the result.
Yeah.
I have to make sure each individual does have the problem. So like one lady who couldn't kneel down, I said, okay, this is true. And the other lady couldn't, even a small step, couldn't get up. I said, okay, this is true. Then we began to do the stretching, which you tried just now. Then just after a few minutes, then do again.
Yeah.
Then they can kneel down. They can, walk on the step. Wow, people applauded. It's really great. So I'm telling the truth. So gradually, more and more people begin to read my book. So actually, my book began.
So on TV, they saw that these audience, they were healed.
Yeah, instantly.
Yes.
But at
that
the
must
beginning,
have been a great success.
My teacher used this kind of technique only for the pain problems.
Yes.
But I very soon found out I can use this to heal all kinds of women's problems, like the period pain problem, and some tumor in their, lower, the stomach, and also constipation, and their high blood pressure, and the insomnia, and for men, all sorts of prostate problems. So far, the people I, worked on, the effect rate is 100%. Every single of them has the effect. Like the old man will get up every night, many times, to go to toilet. But now, it's gone.
But can you show us the basic techniques? Can you do that?
It's easy.
Yes.
We can use just 2 chairs.
Okay.
We invented the kind of patent product, this kind of bench.
Yes.
But now if you don't have a bench,
Yes.
you can put 2 chairs like this.
Oh yeah.
In a door or kind of wall like this.
Yes.
Put one leg up. See?
Yes.
All the way down. You see your arms down.
Yes.
See, by doing so, all the meridians here stretched up.
Yes.
And also here, all the meridians here, they are liver, kidney, and spleen.
Yes.
And here you got heart, lungs, big intestine, all this. And also on your back, there are 4 gallbladder meridians, all stretched up.
How long do you have to stay there for?
Normally, 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But for the beginners or those who are very old, and very sick, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, depends.
Yeah, okay.
Those who are very sick will get very painful here and here.
Yeah.
Depends on what kind of diseases you have.
Yes.
But this is really easy. You can see you can learn it in 1 minute.
Yes.
For the yoga practitioners, they can do it in, up to 20, 30 minutes. Then you have all sorts of symptoms.
Yes.
Very effective.
Yeah.
So gradually more and more people to do this. I began to do a kind of lecturing everywhere. In Taiwan, there's a big audience in the stadium, over 1,000 people. And even I did the big kind of speech to the Taiwan's Congress. Because the Congress chairman also loved this. And sometimes in the families or friends' home, we can say this is called a stretching party. You can also do the slapping.
But you must show the slapping, because that's the central thing.
That's really easy. See, you can theoretically you can slap from your head, all these joints everywhere.
Yeah.
But ideally you slap those joints first. But here, this is a very good part to begin with.
You slap with the right hand on the left arm.
Yeah, then this hand with this one.
Well, yeah.
By doing so for a few minutes,
Yes.
those who have heart diseases,
Yes.
and lung diseases,
Yes.
they will have the dark spots here
Yes.
very easily. Yeah.
And
Harder
why
the
does it
better.
slap very hard?
Yeah.
Slap yourself
As hard as you can. And also on your knees, you can do this. Of course, with your,
Oh yeah.
this and
Bare
this, and like this at the back.
Yes.
For those who have the constipation problems,
Yes.
you do like this on your hands.
Uh-huh.
But you have to do very heavily.
Very
For
happy. For 10 minutes or 15
For 10 minutes, 15 minutes, all up to you.
Yeah.
Because everyone's
But
taste
look
is
here,
different.
I already...
You see? You can see, you can do more, Yeah, heavily. This is really,
Where do I have problems? Look at this.
see, this is the heart, this is the heart.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Do I have problems with the
you
heart?
do. But that does not necessarily mean you have to go to have a surgery.
No.
Because it's still the functioning problem.
Yeah.
It's not, that deteriorating to that degree yet.
Yeah.
But you don't have to wait until you have a surgery
That's right.
to have a Passover or something like that. So
this is both a diagnostic method and
the healing. Yeah.
a treatment
yeah,
method.
yeah.
So how much to get rid of this? How much do I have to slap?
Depends on how old you are, how heavily your diseases are.
Yeah.
You can just keep on doing this.
Oh, I see.
Maybe in an hour or 2
If I have
hours they will be gone.
If I have cholesterol in the blood, would that show up like this?
Yeah, they will
This
be
is-
gone.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you think this could be cholesterol?
Could be all sorts of problems.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't want to
okay.
analyze it in detail, but you can be sure that there are problems. Otherwise, you won't have this.
No, exactly.
And some people,
If I keep slapping, what would happen then?
you see, now this is called yin.
Yeah.
Yin, the yin qi.
Yeah.
You got qi, right? You got
Yes.
yin qi and yang qi.
Yes.
And the yin is getting out by slapping.
Oh yeah.
Then gradually got hotter and hotter in your body.
Yes.
Then the yang, get stronger and stronger. Then the yang qi will conquer the yin. Then the yin will disappear. That's how, the healing happens.
Yes.
It's so naturally happens.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
You don't need any injection,
No.
no, surgery, no medicine. I give a name for this too. Slapping and stretching. It's called antivirus system because it's easy to be understood. When you do this, you activate your own healing system in your own body.
So
They will automatically scan your whole body. Wherever they find that virus, they begin to work on it.
So it's computer
It's fascinating.
language.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Let's say for a couple, the man has high blood pressure. You do this, the pressure will get lower. But for his wife, it's low blood pressure. Then you do the same thing, stretching, slapping, then the blood pressure will
and you
increase.
would slap here, or would you slap for low blood pressure? Where would you slap then?
The same joint place, and also here, same place.
So for most diseases, you slap here, and you slap your knees, and you slap...
And the hands and the feet.
And how do you slap the feet?
Feet is easy, you see, you just sit on a chair.
Yes.
See, this is easy.
Oh yeah.
Very
Okay.
easy, yeah. The reason is simple, because the 2 feet and the 2 hands
Yes.
are the ends or the beginnings for all meridians.
Yes.
If you have a look at the chart of the Chinese
Yes,
meridian
yes,
system
yes.
on the body, you
Yes.
can see that.
Yes.
So with this, it's like averaging. It's very, very effective. For those who have the constipation problem,
Yeah.
you hear this for like 10 minutes for each hand,
Yeah.
very heavily of course.
Yeah.
You have very charming result on the same day. I tried that on many people, especially on the old people. Very
Yeah.
effective, yeah.
Okay. And I think this is very fascinating. And where do you go from here? What do you do next now? What's
I'm going back to China, but then next month I'm going to Malaysia to do 3 big lectures. Yeah.
And
because-
how did you come? Why did you come here to this 2012 and Beyond conference?
Because the organizer, the founder, Bisong, the Shen Foundation, a very close friend of mine, and Bisong used to be an acupuncturist.
Yes.
We've been friends for almost 30 years,
Yes.
always in connection with each other.
Oh.
And actually, I was here last January.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. The last conference.
I think this is all related with each other.
Yes.
My healing way is so specific, so concrete, it's related with every single family and single person. You don't need any medicine, injection, or equipment. You just need your own hands and mindset. So this is very, how to say, a kind of green healing method, very friendly environmentally. So it's really good for, I think it's
And it's free.
yeah, it's free, plus it's free, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Hang Xiao.
Thank you.
It was very good to hear. Thank you.